So you join us in Essex today and we're down at Golden Oaks Fishery. We've come down to check out the lake, have a bit of social between Joe and myself, and maybe even get a bit of a friendly competition in there, haven't we?
That sounds good to me. So when we got here, we had a nice walk around the venue with Dan, the fishery owner, and basically showed us everything we need to know about the lake and all the swims. And we've decided on 2 swims over this side, and we're going to flip a coin for them, aren't we?
Only if we want the same swim though, because otherwise there's no point. What swim do you want?
That is true. Didn't think of that. I want the sunset swim.
Ah, that is the same one that I wanted. Good job you had the coin, otherwise it would have been a fight to the death.
Which I would have won anyway.
Because I'm a pussy. No, I'm just joking.
He's not wrong.
No.
Maybe we should fight.
Cheers, mate. Come on, let's get this coin toss and we'll see who wins on the old fishing front.
It might not be a friendly social after all. What do you want, heads or tails?
I've actually got a small knife in my car and I'm going to slash his tyres after this. I'll have the tails, please. He thinks I'm joking.
Heads it is.
Ah, you.
Didn't need to fight him. I'm in the sunset swim. He's gone off sulking. I'm going to get catching first.
Well, I'm just currently letting the jet drives in my bait boat calibrate themselves, so I can hopefully get some nice smooth motion. And I've got a solid bag with a little handful of pellets in there. And when I first got here, I took the bait boat out for a proper little scan around the area. So I did a nice look around all the area, sort of get an idea of the sort of depth that I had in front of me, and try and looking for areas, because it's quite deep out there, and with it being spring, I was wanting to find areas that are relatively shallow and also relatively flat. Now, I've located sort of 3 areas that I'm primarily going to target. One about halfway along the island, which was a little bit flatter. There was a slight depression, and actually what looked like a fish came up on the as an arc on the deeper on there, and that's exactly where I'm going to be taking this. And funnily enough, about 20 minutes ago, whilst I was getting the rig ready, a fish actually jumped right where I'd seen it, so that is good enough for me. That got a double drop. That got a drop literally like 3 foot under the surface and then fell down another 4 foot and hit the bottom. I'm pretty sure that solid bag just hit a carp on the way down. Happy days. So there you go, that's the rig that I'm putting out there. Little Ronnie rig with one of my faithful little pink pop-ups on and a bag of the house pellets. Now the owner actually feeds the carp in here with these pellets all through the year, and they get a hell of a lot of it in the summer months, so they're going to be well used to feeding on these pellets. So hopefully they'll just home in on those like a beacon of attraction. So just going to clip my rig on and get out there. And one thing that I am going to do with this one is I'm actually going to mark my line with a bit of elastic, so that if I need to get this rod back out there, I can just take it out to the elastic and know that I'm going to be dropping onto the same spot each time. I've not wrapped it, not going to use wrapping sticks or anything like that. I'm just using the deeper sonar that's on the bait boat. So I just want to make sure that once I do that first drop, I can keep dropping onto the same spot. Right, so that's just on that bit of flat ground. So what I'm going to do, keeping the line trapped where it is, what I'm going to quickly do is just pull a little bit of extra line off and just mark my line with a little bit of elastic.
Right, my turn. Matt's been kind enough to let me borrow the bait boat, even though having a bit of a friendly competition. But as Matt was putting his rods out, or his second rod, a fish jumped on the left-hand side of the island, which is where I'm putting my rods. Now, I was going to put one there. I've already cast one out on a zig, so I thought I'd get that out early. And then over behind me on my left, there is a really shallow area, so I was going to put one over there as well. However, changed my mind. I'm going to put 2 rods out on the left-hand side of the island because we've seen quite a few fish show around the island, so it makes sense. So yeah, not going to waste any more time because we're starting to lose light, even though we got here reasonably earlier on in the day, but crack on. Oh, that looks good. Go on the other side. There we go. That looks like a good load to me. Let's get her in. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. Technology's taking over. Ah! So at the moment we're in around 10 foot, and as we noticed from Matt's swim, it's quite deep in a lot of the areas, around the whole lake in fact. So finding these shallower areas where we both think that it's going to produce the fish because it's been a bit warmer recently. I just can't imagine them staying in the deep water. So I'm going to go for around here for this one, a little bit deeper. Still 9 foot, but that looks good enough to me. Hopper 1. Went down with a crack. 2 lots of bait out there. Bush. Good, and it's gone in a complete circle. Oh, I'm going to stick to casting from now on, after I've done my next one. It looks good there though, a little bit close to the island, and it's around 6 foot, so that's where I'm going to put my next rod after I've plonked this down on the old rest. I'm driving home for Christmas, oh my God. You know what I love about bait boats?
What?
It's a boat that takes your bait out. Looks really nice there. I'm going for that. You know what that was, Matt? It's a Lord Boshington, that was. Ooh, gorgeous. I'm absolutely freezing as well, by the way. If only this bait boat had like a turbo speed on the way in. Straight back in. I could get in the bivvy and warm up.
Well, that's a good sign if I've ever seen one. Just after I dropped the bait, I let the bait boat drift a little bit further, and literally just past where I dropped it, there was a big arc just off the bottom. So what looks to be a carp down there. similar sort of area to where I'd seen a couple more of those big arcs from when I'd left my bait boats adrift whilst doing my bite alarms. So it looks like there might be a few fish out there in that sort of open water area, and I've seen visibly a number of carp show around the island. So realistically, it looks like I've got all 3 rods in areas where I've either visibly seen carp or seen signs of carp. So there you go, that's all the rods out for both Joe and myself, and hopefully over the next few hours, maybe even during the night, one of us might catch a fish. But the owner did say that most of the bites have been coming during the day, so it might be a case of hanging around tomorrow and hopefully getting a bite. For now though, the bivvy's in an absolute state. I'm sure Joe's probably is too, and we're both absolutely starving, so we're going to get everything wrapped up and go make some dinner. Finally, we're off the mark after what seems like an absolute eternity of getting the most savage liners ever. Literally picking up from the floor up to the blank, holding there for a couple of seconds, and then dropping back down to the floor in the same position again. It's finally gone. With what looks to be a really nice looking linear. That fell to a little induce pop-up on simple little Ronnie rig, and that was just a little bag of pellets. The last rod that I put out, the 3rd rod, and that was the only bait out there. So yeah, I'm just going to put it straight back out there, just another little bag of pellets, and drop it out long, just like I did before. Here you go, Matt. Oh, he's over there. Hey, Matt. That's mine. Right, we're on the move for a little walk to see Dan, because he's got fish in the sling, which is great. That means 2 fish have come out, Matt's fish and Dan's. We're going to have a quick look at that, get some photos and footage, and then we're going to go and sort Matt's out. Hopefully we can get some more, because apparently it's mainly day bites. So yeah, watch this space. Fingers crossed you get one.
Fingers crossed. It'd be nice to get something other than a liner. We'll talk more about that in a mo though, because I am tired.
Good angling, mate. Look at that. Beauty.
Lovely. Well, there you go, this morning's mirror. A lovely, lovely scaly linear. And yeah, made up to have caught one. putting me a fish ahead of Joe, which is always important. But yeah, lovely, lovely fish, and hopefully we'll get a few more today, because fingers crossed the bite time is supposed to be around 12 o'clock from what people have been catching, so there is still a chance of a couple more. And if they look anything like this or the one that Dan caught earlier, then we'll be well happy with one like that, because that was an absolute stunner. Happy days. So Golden Oaks, we've had a night down here and I've managed to catch one. Fortunately, Joe is still lagging behind in this match.
Even though, well, we both fancied this swim, didn't we? We both wanted to be in here because there's a shallow area down there, and we thought with the weather being a bit warmer, they might have pushed into that bit, but you caught it on the right-hand side of the lake, nowhere near where we thought we'd see him, so. Yeah,
well, pretty much as soon as we were both set up, I'd seen a couple of fish show, one off the end of the island, one off the side of the island. So yeah, it seems like there was definitely a few more fish down my end.
Yeah.
Though last night there was fish absolutely everywhere.
Everywhere,
wasn't
there? Yeah. They were close in, they were to the left, they were out towards the left of the island, further right. Yeah, everywhere, weren't they?
And the liners we were getting were just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I don't know about you, but I barely got any sleep last night because of...
I've not slept a great deal whatsoever. I'm so tired, it's unbelievable. But
the liners were literally pulling up to the rod tip, holding there, to the point where you're almost picking up your rod and then just dropping down to back to where they started. So.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. I mean, I remember when you got your bite, you were stood over it for a minute thinking, is it just another liner?
Yeah.
And then obviously you hooked into one, but yeah, it was a bit savage really, wasn't it? All night. And then it's just been tough since, isn't it? Nothing's really happened since we got the fish out this morning.
Yeah. Well, they were saying that the bite time's been around 12, but with the way that the weather's picked up and things are getting a bit warmer, I think that's definitely sort of shaken them up and got them moving around, and maybe 100%. Things have changed around a bit.
Yeah, I mean, we've got plenty of time left for today, but I'm hoping something else happens because I don't want to go home on a blank. I've not blanked this year. I don't want to go on a blank. I can't do it.
Well, on the plus side, we had that little spell where they went a bit crazy jumping around yesterday, true. So maybe that will bring a bite.
Hopefully, yeah, that's a good point. But I think it's time to tell you a little bit more about Golden Oaks itself.
Yeah, so Golden Oaks is booked as an exclusive booking lake for up to 6 anglers. It's a 5-acre lake on 7 acres of ground, and it's really a stunning fishery, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's got everything you'd want as a social venue. You've got really spacious swims. There's 10 swims on the lake in total. There's pretty much everything you want. You've got the option of having fire pits in your swim. Some swims, like the ones that me and Matt are in, are perfect for bank sticks, putting in the ground, but then you've also got platforms where you'd need a pod. They're all beautiful though, aren't they? They're really, really nice, well spaced out.
And you're not going to get really muddy. After the winter that we've had with the amount of rain, it's been an absolute blessing to come somewhere where it's just like clean and tidy and where we can just chill out. I would say relax, but we've barely slept. But it has definitely been, you can see it's the sort of place where you'd be able to relax and have a great time with your mates.
Yeah.
No matter what the weather was, even if it was lashing it down, with the hut that's over there, you could go into the hut, like you say, have a barbecue, play darts.
Yeah.
They've got, was it an air hockey table?
Air hockey table, yeah. TV, showers, toilets, fridge.
Literally everything that you could need coming as a group of mates, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is perfect.
Or if you've got a number of family friends who are into fishing, or you come in with just your family and you and maybe 1 or 2 others want to fish, and then you bring all the rest of your family and they want to camp around and stuff.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's got everything, isn't it? Yeah, it's set out in a really nice area. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about it other than it is really well done. You've got little lights around your swims as well, so when a bit of motion is detected, they light up for you, which is perfect when you get a bite, because it means you don't even have to worry about head torches, really. You play the fish, not that I did, but...
Well, there is one more thing, and that is the fish dimension.
Yes, of course, yeah, that's true. There's around 100 fish, up to Mid-30, but after speaking to Dan, he said that the bigger fish haven't been caught for a while now. So there's a very good chance that they're pushing up into that upper 30 bracket, which would be wicked to see.
He was saying the growth rates have just been phenomenal, haven't they? And the one that he had was, what was that, 27, 28 pound?
27 and a half-ish, yeah.
That was a solid fish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you can imagine that over the next year or so, those fish will just absolutely pack on that weight.
Well, he said, hasn't he, that since he's put them in, they've put on a ridiculous amount anyway. The one that you caught, he said he'd put on
a couple of pounds just in the last sort of month.
Yeah, which is absolutely madness. So you know, after this has matured, after a few more years, it is still fairly new. I think he said 2020 or 2022 that he'd started putting the fish in.
I think it was dug in 2020, started putting the fish in 2022, and it's only really recently just been sort of started to be fished. And the fish that he's got as well, they're all hand-picked as well, aren't they?
All hand-picked, yeah. There's some stunning fish in here. Really nice.
And a nice variation too. He was showing us some of the newer ones that he'd put in, which was like a complete leather, a linear, and a one that was just crazy scaling pattern. So you're gonna get a real mixture of different sorts of fish. I mean, even just the ones that we've seen, my linear and his mirror with that big scale on the side.
Yeah,
two completely different fish.
Yeah, and that's what's nice about coming to a venue when you know that the stock is all completely different. You never know what you're going to get. You're not kind of just pulling out the same kind of looking fish. It's really exciting, I think. Really exciting fishing.
So, really exciting when you catch something.
It's really exciting when you catch something. So much so that I'm really excited when I catch something. Oh God, I need to catch
fingers
something.
Crossed. Fingers crossed it comes over the next few hours.
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm going to go home with a tear rolling down my face.
Wouldn't be the first time you've appeared on Total Carp with a tear rolling down your face.
No, it wouldn't
having
be.
A show.
Yeah.
But on that note, it's also worth mentioning that we've only been here for 24 hours, and we've had a great experience and a bit of a taster of what's on offer here. But it is more designed, and it's for the longer stay angler, people who are wanting a sort of almost holiday experience.
Yeah.
In the Essex countryside, rather than having to go all the way over to France.
Yeah.
So I think they do Friday to Monday, Monday to Friday, and also full week exclusive bookings as well. So there's a few different options there, but it's really tailored towards those longer stay anglers.
Yeah.
And getting that bit of sort of holiday experience.
Yeah, and on the holiday experience side, nets, slings, mats are all included, so you don't need to worry about any of that, which means on the drive home, you're not going to have I'm not going to have a stinky van anyway, but...
Well, you never know, you might catch something.
But yeah, everything that is included makes you feel like you're on it almost feels like a mini France trip, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The way it's all set out and...
A nice getaway.
Yeah. So, we'll leave it at that. And
there is one more thing worth mentioning as well. If you do want to actually book Golden Oaks, then you can book it on the Go Catch app.
Which is super simple to do. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description to link you directly to the Go Catch app or website, which means you can book directly through there. For here, that was very wordy. As you can tell, I'm very tired.
Yeah.
I need to get a fish and a coffee. I think we should have a coffee.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Well, the end of the session is here. We packed all our kit away in anticipation of the rain and it started raining, so we've got a couple of bits left to grab. But I think that's the end, isn't it?
Yeah, I think get these brews down us, grab those last few bits and get out of here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for you, it was just that one carp that I caught, meaning that I came out victorious. But, well, there's no but about it, really. Joe didn't catch anything, so...
Yeah, cheers, Matt. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. First blank of the year will go down an absolute treat.
No, you've done well so far this year.
Yeah,
catching each time you've been out, so...
I probably set the bar too high, and
Yeah.
now I've got to catch every session, which obviously doesn't happen in fishing. But It's been tough today, isn't it? Nothing's given itself up. I've tried a lot as well, recasting, zigs, different areas. Not a lot more we could do.
No, and that 12 o'clock bite time never really sort of happened, did it?
No.
In fact, it's been pretty quiet all day,
Yeah.
and it seemed like all that sort of activity was from sort of late evening through the night. So,
Yeah.
which we're not going to be around for anyway. So there's no point getting all our stuff wet.
No.
So we might as well just
Get gone.
get gone.